And we should be live, people. It is a little bit different. We're using a bit of a different software, so there isn't really an intro. So we've got the wonderful Simon, Mr. Coily, giving us a little bit of a wave to make sure that we are live. As you can see, he's changed his name to the shirt on Curly's. Oh, sorry, the shirt on Coily's.
You know,
he's got no short and curlies, have you?
No,
I don't use very often if he does, anyway.
talking. Just I need to put just an appropriate point. I was just before I came up here. I was just watching a TV program on opal mining in Australia, and there's a mining town in Australia called Bald Knob. Seriously, Bald Knob.
Me when saying that, and I'm going to go ape shit.
Well, yeah, did spring to mind.
So there's actually a mining town called Bald Knob. Colette, nice to see you, mate.
That's what he calls me every week, innit?
Yeah, and other things.
Yeah, but you're not normally on the stream.
Yeah, no.
After show. And how are you, my brother? The wonderful Salford. How are you doing, bro?
Not too bad. I've not had a bad day today, to tell you the truth. Got a few things sorted out, and I've got a couple of things in as well. The wonderful Bill Richards sent me this little thing. He bought it me and had it sent to me for review. So I've got that in from Bill. Amazing.
Oh,
yeah, lovely guy. He really is. I mean, he sent me items in before, so it really helps my channel out. That, and I've had a care package in from Dinner Ladies as well. So
I didn't see that
today, and I've got sorted out with the doctor, the nurse, and stuff. There, I'll come in tomorrow. So I've not had a bad day.
I was looking on Chris Bell's website, and he'd got that they'd come round like the sales lady for Dinner Lady, and they're actually doing disposable pens now, aren't they?
Yeah. These ones.
The packaging were a little bit different. Yeah, that's how the packaging were. Yeah.
How much How much do they retail for the disposable pens?
No idea. Not look.
When you say it,
I think at 4 o'clock. They only come at 4 o'clock. But they said Chris spelled the lemon tart, which I love the lemon tart, and they sent me a menthol, and I fucking hate menthol.
I love menthol, mate.
Oh, it doesn't. I can't have it anymore, mate.
Right, well, should we have a little bit of a say hello to the people who are in chat? We have got Red Pepper, nice to see you. Hope you're all good. We have got David Renshaw in, but he's already here, and the Coiling. Puffin Billy, always nice to see you. Hope you're okay. We've got Chris Earl, always nice to see you as well, brother. Who else have we got in? Is me. I keep saying it is me. It isn't Esme, is it?
Esme.
Is it Esme?
Esme.
Yeah, look at him looking over the top of it. Just the top of his head.
Where's Wally? How appropriate.
Here's a crutch. I'll come to Esme in a minute because she put a lovely thing in. I think, in fact, I can find it here in a second.
We'll find it.
Harry 48, nice to see you, brother. She was talking to you, actually.
Yes, she was, yeah. She was absolutely wonderful that she's gone and took this course and now can be a dementia friend for people who are suffering with dementia. You know,
yeah, I think that's absolutely fantastic. Really commendable.
It really is.
Emma Douglas, always nice to see you, honey. I hope you're all okay. Who else we got in? Tony, I hope you're going to keep an eye on the football scores for me, mate. They kick off at 8:15. Always lovely to see Colette. I love her loads. UK Vapester, always nice to see you, brother. LCL90, L78, the wonderful Village Vapor. Also, we got the Flat Cat Vaping as well. Congratulations, guys, for getting into the top 10, bro. Always nice to see my brother, Mo, bro. Absolute fantastic bloke. Timmy. Hope you're okay, brother. He's a lovely bloke as well. Marcus, a little bit vapey. Congratulations as well for getting into the top 10. Shane Foster. Who else we got? We've got quite a few in chat, haven't we? Stuart Arrington. That's how I'm going to say it.
Ayrton.
Another brother from another mother. Lethal Coils. Hope you're okay, brother. And that's roughly everybody in chat. So we'll go over.
You missed PUBG. PUBG's in chat as well.
Pav's in. Do you know what? I love Pav to bits as well. Pav picked me up off the floor when I fell over in Expo. That somebody bent the chair at the back, and what I did was I sat on it and went kaput. If you look on me on the vlog for Expo, you can see me going flat on my arse. So we'll start off with Mr. Coily. What are you vaping on, brother?
I am vaping on. I'm not prepared. I wasn't ready. I was vaping on, and I've just finished. I've given up with it. When I haven't given up with that, I've just stopped vaping on it today. The Geek Vape.
I don't know that.
Unprepared am I? Zeus X.
Oh, right.
So when I was coming back from the other side, the dark side last night on the M62, I was stuck in a traffic jam, and the only downside with this tank, the RTA, is it's the only one that will not get me from Yorkshire to Lancashire without having to fill it. Fortunately, I was stuck in a traffic jam on the M62 last night at a dead standstill, and I thought, right, now's the time to fill it up. But it was a big mistake because it was pitch black, and I sort of guided the thing into the top, took the top off, put the bottle in, squeezed it, filled it up, put the top back on, vaped it, got a gob full of juice. I put it straight down the middle of the thing instead of actually in the side. So I suppose lesson learned. So that was the Zeus X on top of the Lost Vape Paranormal.
Or as Marcus calls it.
Hey?
He calls it the Zeus X.
That's what I said.
My mate, the wonderful Paul, Vape Don't Smoke. Always nice to see you, brother. And is that all you're on?
No, you just interrupted. Also vaping on, I don't know, I can never remember, this is the Aries G Taste or the G Taste Aries, which way around it is. 30mm RTA, triple coil, absolutely superb flavour. Really, I'm not a big fan normally of big RTAs. But I really like that. That's on top of the T class because it needed a big mod to put it on, and I am still, and I've not come off this now for 3 weeks. The Just Jam Christmas jobby, the berry shortbread cookie. I can't bring myself to vape anything else. I'm going to run out before Christmas.
Thank you very much to 5G for putting £5 in the super chat thing. It was start.
Thank you.
And I'm also vaping on the in the house the Vinci X. So that's the one that takes the 18650 battery.
Is it good?
Hey?
Is it any good with the 18650?
Really good.
Are you going to buy the 510 adapter for it?
No. That's the point, really. No, I don't really sort of get it. But when you see the size, I didn't think it was that much bigger until I put them side by side. So you got the Vinci, can't quite see it a bit further out. Vinci and the Vinci X, there's quite a bit of a size difference.
Yeah, there is, isn't there?
So it's quite
and
different.
that's the 18650.
That's the 18651. Yeah.
Imagine what the size of the 21700 would be.
And massive. Vinci's still getting leaking out. You can see that in there.
Yeah.
Still getting leaking on it.
It's still a side fill, isn't it?
No, it's a little rubber thing, but you can see it. If you take the thing off there, you can see the juice leaking out the bottom.
Oh yeah, about coilies.
Yeah. So don't know why. I've tried different pods. I've tried different coils.
Let's have a look at mine.
And it still does it.
Mine's bone dry.
Yeah, I don't know what. Honestly, don't know what it is. I've like I said, I've got different pods. They say take the top off, fill it. Is it 2/3 full? So turn it upside down, fill it 2/3 full, turn it back the other way, and blow down it 3 times. And apparently, that's supposed to do something to the pressure. But I've tried that, and it still does it.
That's the 5.5mm tank, though, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the difference. I don't get the problem with the 2mm tank, but I do with the big tank.
Right.
So I don't know what's causing it, but it's still a good vape. So I can't take it anywhere with me because it'll just piss all over the place. So, but yeah, that's it. That is me now. Oh no, sorry, I'm still on the Elements Tangerine in there as well.
No.
Elements. I am still on the Elements Tangerine in that as well.
A bit of tangerine, that's what I like.
I cannot.
Mower brew.
I cannot vape, and I'm not getting on with anything 50-50 apart from Elements. Just not found anything that has the flavour. So
Well, we will send it over to the wonderful Salford Vapor. What are you vaping on, bro?
Well, this is going to be very, very quick. I'm on my usual. I'm on the Adept with the slide tank with my own tobacco, and the only other thing I'm on is the Vaping Vincher, which was salt nicking, some V4 cola,
I love cola, me.
and that's it. That's all I'm on. I've not been using anything else today. I've got tons of gear down me, but I haven't been using it. So that's it. That's a very, very quick one for me.
That's strange.
No plus that I did. They do a wonderful ice cola. That is really, really nice, the ice cola in that. What am I on? Very simple, just like you lot. I've got the Stars Romeo that I'm just testing. It does look like Roger, Romeo, Alpha. But it is quite nice. Nice little flavour off of it as well. In that, I have got some, again, which is nice, 20 milligram Nick shots. Start again. Nick salts by Vampire Vapes. This is the Vamp Toes, which is obviously a Vimto. Then we've just got the review just up for this, which is the Magma Mate, the wonderful plastic one, with the Snow Wolf Mark Tank X on there. 30 watts, and the flavour and the clouds are just amazing. I'll keep saying this. Clouds for days. And then in that, we have got some Perfect Vape, Mighty Fruit, which is kiwi and strawberry ice, which is quite nice. And then last but not least, which it doesn't really leave my side, this, which is the PAL 2 Pro. And in that, we have got some ice menthol from Vampire Vapes. So nice and easy. That's what I like. So then, Mr. Coily, have we got a little bit of news out there?
Yeah, there was a couple of stories that I picked up on. I've not a lot of time to have a look today. In fact, I haven't really read this one. I've just sort of skim read it. Do you want me to see if we can do the share?
Share it and we'll stick it up.
Mrs.
Said the vicar.
Chrome tab.
Yeah.
It's all technical now for him.
Right, see if we can do that.
And we'll add that to stream.
There you are. So, this is a UK report. The number of vapers is on the rise again. This is great, is this? Because I can't see you doing silly things now. So,
Everybody else can.
A recent UK report released by Action on Smoking and Health, ASH, has indicated that despite all the negative publicity surrounding vaping, thankfully the number of smokers who are switching to vaping is on the increase once again. ASH has been releasing an annual survey since its inception in 2012. The latest one has indicated that the number of vapers in the UK has increased from 3.2 million last year to 3.6 million this year. It has also revealed that 1.9 million of those 3.6 million have successfully switched from smoking to vaping exclusively. And then there's just the sort of stats down there. E-cigarette use. There's no point in me reading this, is there? Because everybody else can read it. E-cigarette use continues to grow, and an estimated 7.1% of the adult population, amounting to 3.6 million people in Great Britain, currently use e-cigarettes. Over half, 54.1% of current vapers are ex-smokers, and the proportion has grown year on year, while the proportion of vapers who also smoke, known as dual users, has declined to 39.8% in 2019. The proportion of adult smokers who have never tried e-cigarettes declined rapidly from 2010 until 2014 and continued declining, but gradually from 2015 onwards. In 2019, it was 34.1%, and only 0.8 of never smokers are current vapers, amounting to 6.1% of vapers. I was really interested in that last point. Only 0.8% of never smokers are current vapers, which sort of puts pay to.
Thank you, brother. So, how many of that was never smokers before that have gone to vaping?
0.8% of never smokers are current vapers.
And what did they say the current number was again for vapers?
What, in total?
Yeah.
3.6 million vapers now, which has increased from 3.2 million last year. Which, when you think, it doesn't sound a lot, but that's actually 400,000 people, isn't it?
Yeah.
Of taken up vaping. The charity added that given the current growing sentiment opposing the use of devices in 2018 for the first time since 2015, at least half the population agreed that e-cigarettes were less or a lot less harmful than smoking, 50% in 2018 compared to 43% in 2017. However, this improvement has not been sustained, and in 2019, 45% agreed this was the case. So that's a bit of a shitter, isn't it? Because it was 43% in 2017. Rose to 50% in 2018 and then dropped again to 45%. So you've obviously got to blame a lot of that on what's happening in the US.
Yeah, it's obviously going to have a big it's going to have a big hold on it, hasn't it? What's happening in the US?
Exactly. So I just like those again. I like the good news articles. I get tired of seeing all the bad news and people spreading all the crap stories and. Albeit we need to be aware of what's going on in places like the US. I think I saw something say that Malaysia were now looking to go down. What was it? Where did I read it? Sorry, bear with me 1 second. Malaysia considers total e-cigarettes ban. That was today. So it's just a good news story, which I like.
Yeah, the one in Malaysia is that there's actually like the like we have mayors of each place. There's people there who are trying, the mayors of their states are all trying to get a total and utter blanket ban on vaping completely, aren't they?
Yeah, which is the same, and all these. It's a crazy world. There was actually another one I think you mentioned. I don't know if this is the same thing that you were talking about, Aidan, but Canada, 3 tobacco companies launched a vaping trade association. The Vaping Industry Association, VITA, was officially launched last month, and President Daniel David said that the aim is ensuring that regulations and preventing youth access do not come in the way of adult smokers being able to make use of the devices. But it's Imperial Tobacco, Canada, JTI, Canada Tech, together with here we go, e-cigarette company Juul Labs. So
they seem to have their pies in everything, their fingers in every pie, don't they?
Yeah, yeah, very much so. So there was actually another news story which I thought would be interesting for Salford. Yorkshire Cancer Research. I'll share my screen on this actually, if I can. I like the sharing screen. It's good.
I keep getting the wrong. I keep trying to press the right one, and I keep pressing the bloody wrong one.
Yorkshire Cancer Research, Salford. Yorkshire Cancer Research.
Yeah. I'm in Great Manchester, so yeah.
That's what I'm saying. In the news, is it safe to keep vaping? And Yorkshire Cancer Research have gone a big it's really interesting article actually. It's quite a long article, so I'm not going to read all the way through it. But it's basically Yorkshire Cancer Research reiterating a lot of what Cancer Research UK have said. Talking about what's going on in the US, what's in an e-cigarette. Taking the stance of harm reduction rather than harm elimination. So it was.
You see, this is what we've needed for quite a number of weeks. I feel we don't go in that way. We're in Dallas. We've needed for quite a number of weeks. I don't know if you think about it, Salford, but we've needed these sort of like cancer research and people like that coming out and really just backing us again and saying, look, it is harm reduction. It isn't all about the scaremongering that's coming over from the US. It's what we've needed, isn't it?
Well, to be fair, they have done that, though, haven't they? They started doing that right from the start, as well as so did some of the bigger companies as well within the industry. Started getting out there as soon as they knew it was the THC and the mixing agent with it. They was out there and they were saying, no, it's not down to nicotine vaping. It's down to using these illicit drugs within it. And health authorities within the UK was straight out with it right away. Straight out with it. Even before it was the CDC finally admitted what it was. So
I never saw a load of it. Like that sort of article. That's probably one of the first ones. I know that Public Health came out.
That's the most comprehensive one I think I've seen because they've actually sectioned each particular thing, haven't they? The USA bit. The about the illegal THC cartridges. It looks like they've separated it all out in one big article with it just plonked in, which I think is very, very good. Very good.
There's just sorry. No, carry on. I was going to change subject, but carry on.
No, that's fine. I was just saying, it's good that they've come out and said it. Yeah. It's been needed. Because obviously you've just especially it seems to be the Guardian as well, doesn't it? The Guardian. Where's your Christmas tree, Simon? The Guardian seems to be the one that's loving putting out all these stories, don't they?
Yeah. Yeah, but it is. I think they're all as bad at it because you can look at the newspaper. The Sun, for example, one day will bring a good news story, the next day they'll do a bad news one. And there's no wonder people are confused. The Mail's the same. Yeah, Metro, that's another one.
They jump on each side of the fence, don't they? Whatever they think they're going to get the most clickbait on, that's what it is. Yeah. You know how much advertising they can sell with this clickbait going across.
Exactly, and that's wrong. That's the wrong attitude to take.
Yeah.
There's just another interesting news story, but it isn't sort of what's the word I'm looking for? Anyway, can't think of the word. But New Zealand vape brand Vapo enters the UK's e-cig market. Leading Kiwi-owned e-cigarette brand Vapo has officially launched in the UK, making it the first company selling nicotine-containing vaping products from New Zealand to reach the booming British vape market. They said, just find the bit where it relates to it. Mason said that the UK market is sadly saturated by cheap, low-quality big tobacco products which are not a genuine alternative smoking. The company's priority product is Haze, which is spelled H-A-I-Z, one of Vapo's leading top-selling vaping devices in New Zealand, which like Juul works with a pod system and contains nicotine in the form of salts. It says, our Haze is a little different to some of the products you might find on the market, and that's thanks to our main special ingredient, nicotine salt. As you probably already know, e-cigarettes are most effective due to the fact that they contain nicotine. What many people don't realise is that there are several forms of nicotine. Two we will be discussing here are freebase and nicotine salts. Freebase is your standard nicotine that you will commonly find in your favourite liquids, explains the Haze webpage. Nicotine salts are similarly absorbed into your bloodstream as nicotine from e-cigarettes, meaning it gives a very realistic sensation of taking a drag on a combustible cigarette. Some people require a short and stronger vape to effectively simulate and replace analog cigarettes. The thing that struck me with this is why our Vapo Haze pod kit pods, I'm sure they mean pod kits, are all currently 30 milligram nicotine salt.
13 milligrams?
30 milligram nic salt.
You see, that's another good thing about the UK with them having a cap on it. The majority you find is 20 milligram, isn't it?
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. This is 30.
Yeah.
That
they're selling, they won't be able to sell that in the UK, will they?
This is what they're saying. This is why our current Vapo Haze kit pods are all currently 30 milligram nicotine salt. We have been testing these kits meticulously to find the right strength of nicotine to help everyone and anyone end their relationship with smoking.
Well, I don't know about yourself. Obviously, I've sat here and I've got the 20 milligram nicotine of Vampire Vapes, of the Nic salts, and that's perfectly enough for me, especially in the morning. You know, when you wanted a bit of a nick, or if you're a bit stressed out, it's perfect for me. That 20 milligram.
See, I'm finding I'm cough with it now. I've had to go down to, if I'm vaping Nic salts, I have to go down to 10 milligram.
Yeah, I can't.
Starting to cough with 20 milligram, and also finding that with 20 milligram I cough on the morning. So I've got like an itchy sort of dry throat in the morning. With 10 milligram I don't get it, but with 30 I do. I mean, I'm down to 6 milligram, sort of standard freebase nicotine, but 20 milligram Nic salts just is too much.
Okay. Well, I normally vape between 0 and 3. That's what I'm normally on. But if I fancy a bit of an extra kick, especially if I'm at work or if I'm going to bed, I know take it in bed. Well, then again, when I wake up in the morning, it's a bit like that drinking it. I only have one at Christmas. But yeah, I don't mind it. I get very dry.
Who misses?
Yeah, just spit on it. Yeah, I get very dry with it.
Yeah, it's just, I don't know what it is. I used to vape them all the time. I never said that I used to vape 18 milligram freebase Nic. So, but I've come down a lot. In all my standard, my bigger sub-amps like this, it's all 3 milligram. But 50-50 pods, things like that, 6 milligram freebase or 10 milligram Nic salts. Excuse me.
What about chat? People tell us what if you're vaping on Nic salts, tell us you get a little bit dry with it. What's your sort of limit on it? Do you have a cough on at 20 milligram? Let us know in chat. I do like it with a little bit of an extra kick now and again.
A lot of people have a lot of problems with salt nick. They really do. Either sneezing or coughing or guts up and stuff. I mean, I have 10 milligrams salt nick. I can't have 20. I just end up coughing my guts up all over the place. But on the freebase, I'm only on 9 milligram on my mouth to lung, and I do 0 in subhoming. I don't have any nick at all in subhoming.
Do you not?
No.
See, Bill Richards said nic salts were created to make nicotine more addictive and hook people, which I didn't know.
I thought it was more built, made for that it's smoother. Obviously, if you had a 20 milligram normal freebase, Nick, it would absolutely choke me to death. That'd be too much of a throat hit. Where obviously you get in with the nic salts, it's a hell of a lot smoother.
Yeah. You see, it's like these. If I put 6, I've accidentally had 6 milligram in these, and Jesus Christ, it about knocks me off.
Let's talk about the addiction of nicotine, right? Nicotine isn't as addictive as people make out. What makes nicotine addictive in a cigarette is the other chemicals that are added to it that make you crave the nicotine. So when you become a vapor, it's easier to reduce your nicotine intake and still have the same effect. So it's not as actually that addictive as people make out.
Yeah, but it's like I said before. I was vaping. I'd accidentally vaped some liquid that I hadn't put any nicotine in. Completely forgot to put it in. Never noticed. Never knew until I started vaping some that did have nicotine in it, and it made me cough like a twat.
I'll give you a little bit of an head rush.
Yeah. Yeah. So you got to wonder how much of it is actually an addiction and how much of it's a mindset thing. Yeah. I need me nicotine.
Yeah.
Yeah. I like that one. Big D says nic salts are the devil's medicine, but I like it. Also, Village Vapor says I use 20 milligram. I get the odd coughing fit, but I just power through it. He's like that with a bottle of Buckfast as well. Vaping Bunny says I don't sub-ohm. Yeah, nic salts. Only Nick I use is 20 milligram salts in my pods. Yeah.
I don't. Does anybody sub-ohm nic salt?
I have. Yeah. You're not supposed to, but I have known a few people to actually do it.
I don't think it's a problem, is it? Because there's quite a few places they'll give you a choice of nic salts or freebase too.
I wouldn't have thought so. I haven't done it myself. That's the only thing. But I wouldn't have thought it was a problem. You know,
I think it'd be a bit harsh at 20 milligrams trying to drip it.
No, but you don't make it. So if I get nic salt shots, whatever. If I get nic salt shots and put those in to make 3 milligram into my normal juice that I'd sub-ohm, sort of 70, 30, 80, 20, it's fun.
Yeah,
it's not a problem. I would never make a sub-ohm to 20 milligram, but it's like I said, I can use the nic salt shots absolutely fine, not a problem.
Well, we have seen people drip mouth to lung juice, though, haven't we? And then wonder why it's so harsh.
Yeah, but then how much of that is a PG as well? Because your PG's harsher, isn't it, than PG? So.
Yeah, like Bunny's just said, there is some salt nick that obviously if you dilute it down yourself and don't put as much in, there's not going to be as much in there, is there?
No. I'm going to have to try it because I haven't tried it. I haven't tried nic salt in a short fill. I don't know. So I'll probably get an head rush anyway because I don't do nic in sub-ohming.
Honestly, it's absolutely fun. It's bright. It's smoother. So it's a smoother vape when you use nic salt shots in a thicker juice. You to make it 3 milligram.
Yeah.
Just going on about that documentary, has either of you two seen the documentary on Netflix? I didn't get a chance to do it. I was going to do exactly the same as what the Vapor were going to do. Bo was going to go and sit there and watch it, and I didn't do it.
Which documentary?
It's a documentary on Netflix about vaping, and I can't really comment on it because I haven't really actually seen anything about it.
I haven't seen it. I didn't even know it existed. I know there was the one a few years ago, wasn't there? Was it A Billion Lives, something like that? Yeah, I've not seen that either.
Well, this one's just come out this last week.
No, I'm not seeing it.
So I think I'll be taking a watch of that.
Is it pro vaping or is it?
By what I think it just explains it. Bo Vale sounds a bit different. Bo, what was the sort of general gist behind it? If you can just give us a little bit about it, if anybody else has seen it.
We could do a screen share. I'll put it on my thing. We'll screen share the whole.
We'll just watch it.
Yeah.
I think we'll get done from Netflix for that.
It'd be fun.
I keep saying here's me, and it's not, is it? I've just finished my master's dissertation, is it, on vaping. Nicotine is one of the most addictive substances in the world. A ciggy gives you between 6 and 15 milligrams by the time it gets to the brain. It depends on the...
We're missing some.
Depends on the brand.
On the brand, that's why we have 20 milligram limit, because no coggy gives that much.
Ciggy machine in that one.
You know what that reminded me of? That reminded me of Red Dwarf. I know you two probably don't watch that, but
I used to watch Red Dwarf.
Do you remember that one when he was reading a letter from his mum, and obviously he says she couldn't write properly? your dad's died in a Jeep in his sleep. Kieran's my agent at the Vape base. But yeah, I'll tell you, just going off that a little bit. Have you actually seen anything new about that's sort of twiddled your thumbs, or you thought anything nice?
Short answer, no.
There's like, so I'm a big RTA, sub-M RTAs. That's my thing, and there's nothing that's really floated me about. The only thing that I'm sort of, and I've not watched any reviews apart from one, maybe two. I've started to watch just for seeing if coily was in there, but it's the Widowmaker RTA, because I did like the Widowmaker RDA, but I think Mate Vape said it was very tall, with too tall. So, but it's certainly one that
it does look absolutely humongous. It's the same size, I think. I would talk to Richard from Vaping with VCK, V1CK, and it was the size of an 18650. Yeah.
Which, to be honest, I'm not that. I mean, you look at that. I mean, that's like massive, but it's. I have this thing. So when I'm setting off, I try and vape something different every week when I'm going across to Bury, and I'm sort of always conflicted between having something that's really good flavour, but it's absolutely massive, and something that's nice and portable. So it's a tricky one, but I'm all about flavour. So whatever I get, it's all about finding something that gives good flavour. I'm not bothered about clouds, just flavour for me.
Do you know what, Reg? You've just took the words out of my mouth. I was the Dang. Have you seen the Dang?
No.
Well, I got to look at it before it was released at Expo. It's between Homeboy, OMC, and Kent, and it's basically a poster stack. But what it's got is they've got clamps that's going into it from either side. You screw it into it. It looks a really nice deck, and that's big. Mm-hmm. Have you seen it, Salford?
No, I haven't looked at it. I've heard of it, but I haven't looked at it. Bill's saying the Widowmaker looks interesting.
Yeah, that's the one I was saying about Salford. You're about 10 minutes behind.
That's the one that looks like an 18. It's as tall as an 18650. Mm-hmm. But yeah, it does look interesting. The Widowmaker. I don't know about you lot. They were just talking about the Crown Pod Kit as well. It's not called the what's it called?
The what?
The Pod Kit. There's from UL.
Oh, it's the new Caliban, isn't it? The Caliban, is it Naboo or something like that? It's like a little square one, isn't it?
Yeah.
But it takes the same pods as the normal Caliban, doesn't it?
There's not a lot coming from China at all. There's if anything is coming, it's a pod.
It's all the same as well. It all looks the same. It all does exactly the same thing to me that I've seen out, and it's gone really boring, to tell you the truth.
Yeah.
So I was interested in that. The was it the Geek Vape one? Yeah, the Geek Vape. You just boost the 40-watt mod pod thing, but then was it Big D Vapes was saying it's a bit.
We were talking about that last week. Where the fire button is it your finger goes over the actual airflow, and apparently it's very hard to get the actual coils out. They give you a spanner to prise it out open with.
Which to me, it's just.
I need that on the normal one, getting a normal coil out.
The only thing that I've had people like messaging me to review has been a hell of a lot of pod systems. Somebody got in touch with me for for Tesla. Tesla are bringing out a new pod system.
So I was just looking on a particular website. There's one there, BMI micro pod system.
Not yet, bro.
Hey?
Sorry, go on.
BMI pod system. It looks very similar to the Artery, similar sort of design, both internally and externally. It's got a display on it inside. 70 quid. 70 quid for a pod system.
Yeah.
And
I don't get it.
What pod system is it?
BMI micro. I can't show it, can I? Because it can. I'm looking on eSig1's website. Bear with 1 second.
Yeah, you share it. I hope that's to Liverpool. Please tell me that's to Liverpool. We all know I'm a big Liverpool fan.
2-0 up, Liverpool.
2-0 up, get in.
Yawn. Right, there.
Yeah, sick, Jesus. So is that got an 18650 in it?
Features. Does it say? No, 1200 mAh internal battery.
1200 mAh only.
Mm-hmm.
Just like I'm going to put that up, Gaily Box. You're totally right.
How does that? What was that? How does that warrant 70 quid?
That doesn't warrant 70 quid. Especially if you look at that, you've got sort of like the squareness of it looks just like the Segelli A-frame, except obviously this has got variable wattage. What's wattage go up to?
5 to 30. 2 mil.
Why would you want to spend that? Where you can, like I said, you can get I think the it's going for. Sorry, I'll put that way. No, sorry, I'm pressing them all. There we go. I think the actual A-thing's only going for about 20 odd quid.
Yeah. So I was just looking at other places. It's not. Obviously it's not. We're not saying that EC1.
Thank you very much again, Red.
Everywhere else you look, it's about the same price. Very little difference in price.
Big D says the Aspire Mullis looks similar, but love the 18650 within it.
Aspire Mullis.
So yeah.
But for 70 quid for that is just not worth it, is it?
Yeah, but does it look any different than anything else other than it's got the bloody screen with the cover over it?
Well, no, but that's what I'm saying, isn't it? That is just like the PAL, but with a
with a screen on the inside.
Or if you look on the inside, it apart from the 18650, it looks exactly the same as the A-thing.
Yeah. I still want to try one of those A-things, but the wobbly doors put me off.
It's really good with the 18650, but if you look at that, like the PAL 2 Pro,
yeah.
The price of that is just absolutely silly. There's quite a lot of stuff as well now where the prices are just absolutely ridiculous. You don't have to spend them.
No, but it's like I said, if I had 70 quid, I wouldn't go and buy a pod. Although I did spend 50 quid on the Grim Green one, which was worst investment. Sure.
What worse you've bought? Is it?
It's not the worst thing that I bought. It's just the price that I paid for it.
You can get the new PAL for
I wouldn't pay the price for it because for me it's just one of them. Just one of them extended.
Yeah.
You know, they're all the same. There's just too much the same these days. Really.
This comes back to what we were talking about last week. If you're going to make a pod, rather than charge 70 quid for something that looks the same, because that's obviously, I don't know what the fill method is on that, but just get a grip and design something that's easy to use, that's got adjustable airflow on it, that's nice and easy to fill, that's got a decent mAh on it, whether you use an 18650 or whatever. See, I still really don't get the point of having an 18650 in a pod. I don't get it. It's not a pod, is it?
No, not at
well,
all.
no, it's an AO. It's not an AIO either because it's not an all-in-one. But you're using a pod. You're not using a tank on it. It's an enclosed system. The reason why I wouldn't have said the same to you, but this is absolutely corking with that 18650. Now, what you got then is that you can literally take another battery in a case with you, so you're never going to run out. Obviously, if you've got an enclosed battery, you're going to have to charge it at some point.
Yeah, but it's like I said last week. Make them small enough. I know I want the world, but make them small enough that you can carry one and you can have a spare one with you. That for me is like where the Caliban, the original Caliban, just wins out on everything because it doesn't leak. It's nice and small. It uses pods which are refillable. It doesn't have adjustable airflow, fair enough. But you can stick 2 of the spare ones, and they're cheap enough. They're what did I see on? I was looking on Amazon the other day. I think they're about 18 quid on Amazon for the Caliban. You can stick a couple of the spare battery, the actual pen part of it in your pocket. So when your first one runs out, and they're only, what are they, 350 mAh batteries, something like that in the Caliban. But I mean, I can get a decent amount of time out of those. When we went to take that in Middlesbrough this year, I took 2 of those. I took 2 spare batteries. I mean, I took one fully charged, one with the pod on it. And I went through, I literally just finished the first one, getting towards the end of the concert. I put the second one on. So it lasted me, a good, 4 hours, something like that, before it gave up. And it was just a case, pull the pod out, put it onto the battery, put the pod that needed recharged in my pocket. It's like I said, it's just gone from me to for just being silly.
I don't mind the 18650. The thing is, though, is them batteries, what you're going to, the actual mod part of it where you put the pod into, the battery part of it, they're going to cost you probably a tenner or 20 quid, aren't they?
Yeah.
For an 18650 you can get for £3.75.
Yeah, but you...
And at 350 mAh, you're only going to probably have to take 2 in a box, aren't you? So you take 2 in a box, and it's going to easily last you over a day.
Yeah, but then think about it. For a new vapor, you're getting back into the realms of carrying 18650s around in your pocket, aren't you?
Yeah.
Which to me, and I know, us experienced vapors, it's not too much of an issue. But, for a non-experienced, for your newbie vapors.
We then go back into the unsafe part as well, don't we? People that don't know shoving batteries in the pocket along with the changing.
Yeah, I can see
that.
And like I said, with something like the Caliban, it's dead easy. Just unhook your pod, stick your other pod straight in it. That's what I said. They just seem to go. They seem to design stuff for the sake of designing stuff.
But they're not designing stuff, are they? What's happening now is they put something out on the market, they see it sells well, and every bugger does exactly the same thing and floods the market with exactly the same thing.
Yeah, that's all it's now, isn't it? It's been like it now since pods started to come out, and all of them are the same.
Yeah, just you popped up Mobro's comment there. Honestly, I get it, Mobro. I get putting 2 batteries in a box. It's fine. Most of us that know what we're doing do that. But there's too many people that don't know what they're doing. There's too many unscrupulous places just selling batteries and not giving people battery guidance. There's too many people who don't want to just invest a bit of time in learning about 18650 batteries. It's just trying to make it as easy as possible, isn't it? And as safe as possible.
I was just reading that.
It's like everything, though. They're aiming it at a market that is flooded. They're trying to make it stand out. So by robbing you, it does. You'll get people that don't know better and buy it. Yeah, you're totally right.
Yeah.
So that's 70 quid in an online shop. How much is that going to be? In a sort of small.
They're going to charge 100, not, aren't they?
Yeah. So I was going to say hello to David Mottram. David Mottram makes some absolutely stunning Mautolan coils. Really nice little coils there. Really, really good.
And do you stock them?
Yeah.
I haven't had me email yet telling me what you've got in stock.
I sent it. Just you chose to read.
You sent the email. I haven't had the email. Which account did you send it to?
Must have got lost across the pen arm somewhere.
It means he's not bloody well done it, you lying bugger. You little liar.
Yes, I do. I have. I don't have many left actually, so I didn't get a vast amount. But
yeah, I totally understand that with obviously the newbies coming into it of them. Yeah, carry a few of the spare ones. See, when we first started vaping, and you would say you were on them Cigalite sort of pen design. It was the big fall of it. Even when you got the ginormous battery of it, eventually it'd go, and then you'd be ended up asking people for a cigarette. So now, what did I have the other week? Which had again, this is a pod system. This has got 400 mAh battery in there, and it lasted me a good 6 to 8 hours. That's not bad for a pod system.
But that's what you should be aiming for, and this is what I'm saying. It's all right bringing all these fancy mods out that are like 750, 60, 70 quid, but bring out things that are going to get people to move from, because like all right, I know it's still cheaper than smoking, but to your inexperienced vape who goes into a vape shop, the vape shop's going to say 70 quid for that. It's fucking 70 quid. I'm not, but it's costing me an absolute fortune. I want something cheap. I want something that's going to last me all day. I was thinking about this coming back in the car, and I was thinking when I was vaping, when my tank ran out on the M62, I thought, in the olden days, when I used to smoke, it'd just be crack open another packet of cigarettes, no messing about. It's trying to make it as easy as possible, isn't it? As simple as possible for people to get them off cigarettes and get them onto e-cigs, whatever e-cig it is.
Why some companies make plastic fantastics like this at £7 with 3 pods, Nick Salt, for what, 3 quid, 4 quid, 3 in a pack?
Yeah.
The only problem is I find with them pod systems, you're not getting a really good flavour from them, and they don't last that long. They end up burning out.
That one's actually quite good.
It's like with this tank. Obviously I've been telling you about the Mark tank. The review's coming out for it in the next couple of days. That's brilliant. I know we're going on to batteries again, but you could get a device like they had the old RevMod, the old Sport 101. That had a 4,000 built-in LiPo battery. This tank, obviously, it's not a mouth to lung, which normally, if you're coming off the stinkies, you're better really going for. But at 30 watts, and you're getting that, you feel like you're actually having a really good vape on it. The battery lasts for days. If you had that sort of tank.
Isn't that down to the tank? If you're getting good flavour and what have you, isn't that down to the tank and the coil more so than the actual mod?
Yeah, what I'm saying to you is if you didn't want somebody who was brand new to vaping having batteries, if you got something like the RevMod, which is like the 101 RevMod, it had 4,000 built-in LiPo battery. The only thing they do is just charging that mod up, and it would last for 2 to 3 days.
Well, that's why they were so popular for so long.
Yeah, cool. Yeah.
Cool 54.
Cool 54. Can't beat him. That was. I always said to people, they asked me what sort of system would you go for as a newbie, and I always said the Nautilus with the Cool Fire 4. You can't go wrong with it. You're vaping at 15 watts at the most, and it's going to last you a good couple of days. And that's the thing is having that constant, not where your battery's going to run out and then they're going to be asking for a cigarette off the mates.
Yeah.
But I still think there must be a massive market out there that people aren't taking advantage of. Like I said, whether it's just if you can make it, and as Salford, as you just said, it isn't about the pod. It's not the actual battery part itself. It's about the coils and the flavour that you get. No, it's coils and airflow, isn't it?
Yeah.
That's going to give you that flavour. So just design something that has good flavour, and they can do it because, like I said, and I know I keep banging on about the Caliban, but you look at how good the flavour is out of the Caliban. It's phenomenal. It's as good as the Vinci in a tiny little.
Well, they've done it, and they've done it with some of the mesh coils. Some of the mesh coils from mouth to lung are absolutely fantastic. So they can do it. It frustrates me that everybody has to make the same thing. That's what frustrates me. There's no innovation at all. There's no design. It's design after design.
The 70 quid mod, who are they aiming that at? So that 70 quid pod with a fixed battery, who are they aiming it at?
I'm going to be honest, I couldn't afford it, and most people couldn't.
No.
At 70 quid. Especially them just going off cigarettes onto it. Then we want to save money. They're not going to want to pay 70 quid for that. Then buy a load of juice on top. Then buy extra pods and what have you for it, coils and stuff right away. It's far too dear, isn't it? Having said that, we did it back in the old days, didn't we? I mean, I got an Ego battery with a CE2 on top, and it was 80 odd quid. So I don't know. It swings around about. It depends on whether you've got the actual money you can spend on it. I know not these days.
Do you reckon that
I had it in my hand? You're totally right. I paid 80 quid in 2006 for the first vape pen that I had, and like as you all know, it didn't even have a. It was high, medium, and low. The little pods that you got for it, but it were 80 quid.
Then you see you going back to the days of it was those people that wanted to start vaping, wasn't it? Really wanted to stop smoking and start vaping. You had to be fairly committed to spend that amount of money on something, not knowing if it was going to work. It took me ages to get. I mean, I was a dual user for 6 months, and it took me ages to get off. I was a little CE4 with a same Ego battery on it. And I never
for 7 years.
Yeah, you see, I never really got on with it, and it wasn't until I moved to Suburban that I started getting on with vaping proper. When I eventually moved away altogether.
Well, me and Aidan started probably on Aidan a couple of years before me, but we was probably on around about the same things. So come along the same things, the cigar lights and the Egos, the Ego twist, and that sort of thing. Before we even seen any of the hobby sort of side of it, you know, and that is what people did. But it was expensive, even the cigar lights. One little unit with one battery, and what we got free cartridges, 3 cartos with it.
Optimizers.
Yeah, and you spent what, 40 odd quid to get the first one, 50 quid. You know, it's.
Well, I say, lads, by the looks of it, chat's buzzing. But, yeah, that's and then then the cheap stuff started coming over from China, didn't it? Like, this is where the trouble started happening. They were about $7.95 or something, and you got one cartomizer and a battery, and people were using the mobile phone chargers to charge the battery up and wondering why they were going pop. And
yeah.
But I think if I'd had pods when I first started vaping, I probably would have given up smoking. I would have stopped smoking pretty much straight away if I'd had something like the Caliban. What I was going to say is, do you think the 2 mil limit puts people off? Because again, it's about convenience, isn't it? Going back to this, cracking open a packet of cigarettes, getting your cigarette out is dead easy. If you've got to start farting about filling up every half an hour because you're running out of juice, do you not think if they did like a 5 mil pod, which gave you an extra hour or 2 hours out of without having to refill, that would make a difference?
Dean, I think with that, Simon, is because we're hobbyists and we use a lot of juice, basically. We're the ones that's pissed about the 2 mil limit, aren't we? I don't think it affects somebody just making a switch because they don't know any different.
No, they don't know any different, but convenience, though, Salford, that's what I'm on about. So, you know, ease of use.
The limit size is what we're going to look at, aren't they, when they eventually get down to it, if we ever eventually get out of Europe. But we're still talking 2-3 years up the line there. I don't think the size puts people off. It puts the likes of me and you off because we go out and we buy a sub-ohm tank and we limit it to 2 mils. We've got to wait, either go and buy a bubble glass for it or we're provided with one for it.
Yeah, but you don't get what I'm saying. 2 mil, it's about convenience, isn't it? It's about not having to refill, and that's what I'm saying. All right, if you've got a brand new vapor going in and they're buying a 2 mil tank, they probably won't think anything of it because they don't know how long it's going to last them. But eventually, they're going to find out that 2 mil is going to last them an hour if they're sort of vaping as much as the smoke, maybe an hour, maybe 2 hours. And then they're having to pull it. So if you take the Caliban, you've got to take the little plastic cap off. You've got to fill your juice in and then put your top back on. And you get a little bit of juice pissing down the side of it and all that sort of stuff.
You've got dexterity problems. You have often to track them off.
Yeah. So that's what I'm saying.
I understand what you mean. I do understand what you mean. But as I said before, if you're a new vapor coming into it, no matter what, you're not going to do. It is inconvenient. We don't like bigger tanks. We don't like bigger pods. I mean, well, I've done it, haven't I? I've done it. 2 mil pod on that. About the 5 mil ones.
Was that the Vaping? Just because that's what I've got. Just try them and just see if you get the same leak in that I do.
Right, I will do. Well, I'll be doing them for the review anyway. So
Dean says the 2 mil law is pointless, but it doesn't bother me. Just fill it up when it is empty, like you would do with a normal tank. To be honest with you, I think eventually when they do, when we get all this Britex sorted and all who's coming in, who's coming out, I do feel that they will re-look at that. I don't think it makes that much of a difference. I think the actual time when they did it, we were more 50-50 vapors and. It lasted a lot longer. I don't think it makes a difference. I don't see where it comes in as a difference.
I think the inconvenience comes if you're driving somewhere over a long distance and you used it and the pod goes on you. You need to fill.
If I'm honest with you, this actually does come. They didn't send it with the 3 mil bubble glass. This is just 2 mil. It does do your head in after a while. You know, when you just vapor along and then you can see it's getting so far down, you think, oh God, I've got to fill this up again. It does do your head in.
See, what we need to do is get Simon onto a slide tank. So, on his normal mouth to lung rather than blowing big clouds going down the motorway. When he comes over, then he has to use his passport to get into Greater Manchester.
Well, he wants to take his Caliburn, doesn't he?
He wants what?
Your Caliburn, just take your pod with you.
Yeah, but that's what I said. Even that would, I don't think that would last me all the way to Bury. I don't think it would. So I don't know. It's like I said, for me, it's just all about convenience. It's making it easy, and it's what I'm trying to say is all this expensive stuff that's coming out isn't really doing anything to help the cause of getting people to. Everybody's saying the 2 mil thing isn't a problem. It isn't a problem, and honestly, I get it isn't a problem. It would be better if it wasn't 2 milliliter. But all I'm trying to say is that from a convenience point of view, it doesn't bother any of us existing vapers. We can live with it, we can deal with it, and everything else. All I'm trying to say is there must be much easier ways to get people who smoke at the minute off cigarettes and into vaping, making something that's a lot more convenient, a lot easier to use. And nobody seems to be looking at that. Everybody seems to be going down the route, make it expensive, flashy, whatever you want to make it, instead of concentrating on those people that should be taking up vaping instead of smoking. What do you know? What I was just thinking about this. There should be a review channel somewhere on YouTube, and there probably is a YouTube review channel who actually brings smokers in and says, "There you are. There's a pod. Try that. What do you think? Would that stop you smoking?" So you actually get.
He brought the holster in, and they sort of like went through. Each week what he'd been vaping on and how he'd found it and how he like fell off the wagon and stuff like that. I found it quite interesting. And he's a lovely bloke as well, the Hollister. And he's done really well. I think he must be now 1.5 years, nearly 2 years he's been off of them. We did say this last week, Gaily Bops. It must be the next invention for him. We have been saying this. That it's about time we had a coily mod.
Do you really think they're the way? Because I give the other one out of these to Bob. It lasted him 2 hours. You know, the disposables.
Is it the Mojo?
I don't know, some crap, mate. Mojo, yeah.
Sorry, you're asking me that question, Salford?
No, I was speaking to Dave Mottram. He's saying the disposables are the way of the future. I don't know if it means them or the disposable tanks that have been about just recently.
It's cost, isn't it?
Well, they've been out for quite a while. The disposable tanks from Horizon Tech and people like that, Blitz, and again, they're not too bad for people who are coming off the stinkers. I think they're going to get a little bit better. The waste from disposable isn't good yet. I can totally go with that. Again, you've got to look. I would talk to somebody about Vape. I know, obviously, big tobacco. Now, the Vape stuff, I don't mind at all. Like what you were saying, get a cut. I don't know if I've got it here or not.
You're looking for that one? The
big Vape. It's a bit thicker.
Right, got the big one.
And you could talk for 2 pods for that. I think you're talking £5.25.
Yeah.
Obviously, the pre-filled is disposable. Now, if you're coming off of stinkers, you're roughly going to be spending £20 a day, or maybe a little bit less, £15 a day on cigarettes. Yeah. So the $5.25. So you're going to roughly just say you used a pod a day, which I didn't. I used probably 1.5 pods. Say you used a pod a day. You're still not going to be spending anywhere close to what you would have been spending if you was buying packets of cigarettes. You're probably halving it, aren't you?
Oh yeah.
Andy.
That's the thing, isn't it? When everybody's well, I'm saying everybody. This was my view. When I stopped smoking, there was a health element of it, but my big thing was the cost. It's going to be that was the reason that I was going to give up smoking, was because it was too expensive. And what's the limit? Why is it? If you look at a smoker and you're going to say, right, I want you to give up smoking, what's that limit? Does it have to be 50% cheaper? Does it have to be 75% cheaper, 25% cheaper? I was working out with my son the other day, and if you smoked 200 cigarettes a week, I know it's a lot. Let's say 150 cigarettes a week. You're going to be looking £900 a week, aren't you? At the minute to smoke.
£900 a week?
No, £100 a week.
Yeah, easy. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a hell of a lot of money. It's nearly a mortgage, is that, isn't it?
I need to think how much.
Sorry, Salford.
I need to think how much it'd cost me these days, because I smoke 70 plus cigs a day.
Did you? Jesus Christ.
You know, it'd be a horrendous amount.
We've figured it out. This is Jenny. I hope you're okay, sweetheart. We've figured it out. It says how many ciggies is equal to their pros. It's technically cheaper to smoke than vape, even at that price. I would imagine if you're maybe smoking roll-ups, but if you're smoking, just say you're at Regal or something like that, and you're smoking 20 Regal a day, that's 20. What's that? That's 140 quid a week. And then you just say, even if you did 2 pods a day, that's 35. So that's £70, isn't it? But you wouldn't do 2 pods a day. Well, I wouldn't think you would have done.
So you take. Where are they? Are we talking pre-filled pods? Or are they pre-filled?
Yeah. 1.8 mil of juice, but obviously you're doing it like a mouth to lung. You're not clouding it.
Yeah.
See those pre-filled pods just feel like a waste to me, because how much more life is there left in that coil?
Look, tons. That's why I break some of them down and refill them.
It just feels wrong that you're throwing that pod away. That's probably got a coil that's good for probably another 3 or 4 days. Yeah,
you can get the hacks where you open it up.
Oh yeah, and you can rewick quite a lot of them as well. So you're not stuck with the same cotton in.
It is a huge green issue, isn't it, of all the disposable stuff.
Yeah. Talk about
with the Horizon tech. This is the direct to lung tank here. With the way they've done that now is the actual bottom part of it is. I don't know if the bottom part's on this. We're getting. Sorry, my hand's still broken, so I'm having trouble doing anything. If I'm honest with you.
I told you not to sit on it before. It doesn't work. It still feels the same.
Why do things like that happen when you wanted to get something pigging out and it won't come out? Damn thing. Yeah, they've got the metal part on this one. So what they're doing is you keep that one.
Find it again.
Oh, I want to catch it. Ow. The bottom bit is you keep, and then it's just that which is disposable, which you can actually put into the bin, or you can send it back to Horizon Tech.
Right. Is it recyclable plastic?
Recyclable, yeah.
Right.
Whatever happened to the Preco tank? They're still selling that, because that sort of seemed to come out and be a big thing at one time. Eh?
That is the Preco.
But I thought you said it was something else.
Yeah, it's made by Horizon Tech.
Oh, is it made by Horizon Tech? Sorry.
Yeah, V-Zone.
Right.
Well, it's actually the Vlit, which is another company which is off of Horizon Tech.
Right. I don't know, it just feels wrong, and I hate to admit it, I'm not sort of a big environmentalist. I respect the environment and everything else, but I'm not one of these that goes out and holds placards up and things like that. But it still just feels wrong that we're just chucking all this stuff away.
Mo bro, tomorrow I think it is the Calypso lemonade, which is actually from Horizon Tech. Tomorrow, if anybody's been catching them, I've been doing. There's a new show on Little Bro Vapes, which is the 12 o'clock juice review. It's just a quick juice review. It's not like a massive in depth. It's a couple of minutes long, and it's out every 12 o'clock every single day. I've got them recorded up for about 3 weeks, I think, near enough now. So I should be all right for a bit. So yeah, make sure you check that out every single day. You can go and get that at 12 o'clock. Also, people as well, thank you very much to everybody who's voted for me. I've been voted again in the top 10 on the eSig Click Awards. The live votes are now open. So if you could just please be a cherry on top, go and drop Little Bro a little bit of a vote, please. It'd be really, really nice. Is the coily tool in there as well?
Not as far as I'm aware.
I didn't see it.
No, don't think so.
I didn't see it. Well, lads, it's getting to that witching hour. We've done another hour. Thank you very much for joining me. We'll go over to Salford Vapor for his quote of the week. We can't put his wonderful missus up.
I've actually got the wrong quote up as well.
Have you?
Well, yeah. So that's screwed that. That's really screwed that. I've brought the wrong one up. I'll say it anyway. The ladder of success is best climbed by stepping on the rungs of opportunity. That's not the one I wanted, but it'll do.
That's a good one.
You've got to step on them rungs of opportunity. Timmy, you used to only smoke 50 grams of tobacco a week. Vaping costs me a fortune. And it's true, though. If you get into it, it can cost you an absolute fortune.
As the hobbyist, it always does, doesn't it?
Why couldn't you put who's its picture up?
Because you have to, for you to do stuff like that, you have to pay for the full version.
Surely you must be able to. Can you? You can't. So you can't even put it up in an application window.
No, I tried to do that and it didn't quite work.
I don't know.
No, it didn't work. I did try to, but it just didn't work.
Let's ask our audience how they found it tonight using this particular piece of software.
It would have been better without you in it, Salford.
There's just no need for that. I can leave, if you want me to.
Come on.
It's easier. Just click the button, and then Aidan clicks it at his end.
See, I don't know if that's sharing. Is that sharing?
I'm getting the circle of death again, but I'm always getting that, so I'm not.
Yeah, you can see that.
So you can see it.
Oh, there we go. So we can still do that one then.
And I can see it on there, but I can't see it on my screen. That's all.
The only trouble is it'll be there about 45.
I can see my beautiful girlfriend now on the other screen.
That's it. She's lovely here.
She is.
Right, nice to see you, Benny Vapes. Okay, brother. We will pass it over to Mr. Coily. Say your goodbyes, brother.
Yep. Thank you, as always, to everybody in chat. Thank you to the Spanners for looking after things. It's been good tonight. I've enjoyed it. We've no guests, and it's just been that. See, what I like is like this three blokes down the pub. That for me, I love the chat. Really enjoy it. So yeah, thank you to everybody in chat for keeping things going. Thank you to Mr. Salford Vapor. Love you lots, of course.
Yeah, just showing it. Get off the show.
It's just everybody else that doesn't think I love you, and to the wonderful Aidan for keeping things going and getting this good new software. Really enjoyed the show tonight. Thank you very much indeed.
And over to the wonderful Salford.
Guys, as I say every week, without you in chat, we don't have a show. And you guys, your interaction and what have you, it does make the show, helps the show run along. And of course, I love the wonderful Simon who's trying to kick me off the show. You'd heard him twice before. Yeah. But I love him really. And of course, the guy who keeps it going and has been on a bit of a learning curve with this particular piece of software, I think. Yo, little bro.
Thank you very much, buddy. As you've probably seen, that we haven't got Mama Vape on, Jules Mama Vapes. Unfortunately, she had a bit of a family issue to sort out, and she couldn't come on. So big love from all of us here, and I hope everything gets sorted out, and we'll sort another date for her to come on. So yeah, I hope she's all okay. Big shout out to everybody in chat for looking after us like normal, and all our spanners. Big love to all of you. We will be back next week, same time. If you can't find it in your heart, please nip over and give me a little cheeky vote on the EC Click Awards. It'd be absolutely wonderful. And well, there's going to be no outros and no nothing. So we're going to say, put him.
Sure. While I was looking for Salford's photo, I found another photo that I did as well. I just have to.
Did you do another one then? Put it on and we'll show it.
Let me see if I can find it.
Don't start a competition off.
Every week we can. You can do a picture of each other.
Oh, I'm not doing that. He's too much of an old dinosaur to find things for.
Shh, Salford. One sec. Sorry, now I'm delaying. Oh, it won't let me zoom.
I'm going to throw my slipper at you.
No, here, this one.
He's sharing it.
Well, I'd be able to see it. I can't see it. Oh,
get me, big boy. I'm moist. He's having a go at me.
He's having a go at you, yeah?
I don't mind that, though. I think, look at the chubby cheeks in that. Somebody put that on one of my comments today. Where did your fat face come from?
Did they?
Did you? I said, it's all right. It's connected to my fat. Well, people, we've got to say it, piss flaps, so we can't say at the end. We've got ball bag beanie and short and coilies.
Dirty pig.
Coily pubes it was, wasn't it?
Coily pubes. Look after yourselves. We will be doing a Christmas special at some point. We will let you all know when that's coming up. Look after yourselves. Big love to all of you, and we will see you next week. Good night.
Bye.
Jazz hand.